So this is Anas's press statement released on 15th March, which is yesterday, as soon as the judgment came out. And this is what he says. Statement on judgment of Justice Eric Barr in the case of Anas Aremeyaw versus Kennedy Japan, suit number G, etc. Today, Wednesday, 15th March 2023, a High Court presided over by Eric Barr J dismissed. Eric Barr J, no, is a Court of Appeal judge, so CA, I think. All right. Dismissed a defamation action filed by Anas Aremeyaw Anas of Tiger IPI in 2018 against Kennedy Japan MP. The entire judgment was read in open court. Okay. Now, these are the disagreements Anas has with the judgment. One, the court established that Mr. Ejapon defamed Anas, but in a bizarre twist, concluded that the so-called documentary Who Watches the Watchman was an absolute justification, thereby absolving Mr. Ejapon of any liability. So this is Anas's first concern, that he says that the court established the defamation. I'm not sure that the court did that. The court didn't establish the defamation. The court just talked about the defamation and said that what the judges normally do is that they start with your case and then I'll give you a typical example. So if you are listening to a judgment from an election petition case, for instance, and we had that, we say that, okay, because Kwame Japan is here, let me use his constituency, I also West Wogon. And the judge is reading and says that in Bawaleshi LA Primary School, we agree with the petitioner that voting was irregular and that 180 ballots were stolen. Then he goes on. So the petitioner's people are excited because the judge has said he's reading the ruling. So when you hear that, you are happy, isn't it? Okay, you are the petitioner's person, you are happy. You are the respondent's person, you are confused. Then he goes on. In the same constituency, also at University of Ghana, the court agreed with the petitioner that there were infractions in Sabah Hall, Ekwafo Hall, Commonwealth Hall, etc. Then the judgment goes on. Then he goes and says that also in Passem, the court agrees with the petitioner. Then he says that after all of these, however that the court agrees with the petitioner, the court finds that the total votes collated in those areas, all of it added together, does not impact the real election. Therefore, the election petition is dismissed. So when you hear a judgment like that, you can say, if you are unsuspecting, that the judge having agreed with the petitioner in a bizarre twist, no, that's not how it works. The judge says what they see, and then he applies the law. So they agree with the petitioner in everything that happened in violation and everything, but in applying the law, they say that all of that did not affect the final outcome of the election. So the petition is dismissed. So I'm guessing that that's why Anas's lawyers are having this problem, thinking that the judge established a defamation. He couldn't have established defamation. He read it, that this is what you are saying. It is defamatory if it's not challenged. But then the plea of justification works for Kennedy Japan. But anyway, let's go on to see what else Anas says. He says, we find the decision of the court as unfortunate, travesty of justice, and very inimical to the administration of justice and fairness. If for nothing at all, Mr. Ejapon made an allegation of murder against Anas. There is absolutely nothing contained in the said documentary which alludes to the commission of murder or an allegation of a commission of murder by Anas. Okay, let me explain this. So the question of murder here takes all of us minds to Ahmed Swale. Nothing to do with Ahmed Swale. The conversation of murder here is not about Ahmed Swale. It's about the Honorable J.B. Dankwa Edu. So in his conversations and his talk, Kennedy Japan said also that Anas is responsible for J.B. Dankwa's murder. And so Anas is concerned here that in writing the ruling, he is suing for defamation. And one of the reasons he's suing for defamation is that Kennedy Japan has called him a murderer. If you're called a murderer, you are called a misfit. You shouldn't be among society. So that's defamatory. For those who respect you, it's defamatory. So that's the point Anas is making. Let's go back to the ruling. We'll see what the judge said about that. We'll show you in a minute. Can you put it out? And then let's deal with that. What the judge said about the murder. Why the judge didn't say anything about the murder. Now, this is what it is. This is from the court ruling. This is what the judge said. He said, on the allegation that Anas murdered former member of parliament Joseph Boachi Dankwa is consorting with his wife. Okay, that's the allegation Kennedy Japan made, that because Anas allegedly consorting with the wife, matter that we don't know, we don't believe, it's up to him. Because of that, he killed J.B. Dankwa. And the judge is saying that, he's repeating it, that the allegation that Anas was a part of J.B. Dankwa's murder because consulting his wife and was responsible for the killing of some Chinese. Japan explained under cross-examination that he says so because Anas had alleged that he, Kennedy Japan, killed his colleague Ahmed Swale. Okay, so the judge says in cross-examination, Agyapong was asked that, why did you say that Anas has killed somebody? He said, but he also said I killed Swale, so he killed JB Dankwa. You know, I'm saying this in Agyapong's voice. Let's move on and see what the judge says. He says, the hypothetical reader will have read about that notorious case involving the murder of the former member of parliament, Mr. Boakye Dankwa, and would be aware of the trial of the suspects, which does not include Anas. The allegations made by the defendant could not therefore succeed in actually defaming the plaintiff. So it's not true that the judge did not say anything about the murder. It's not true. That's what Anas' statement said. That's not true. This is what he said about the murder. He said that, yes, allegations of murder was made. In cross-examination, Kenneth Agyapong was asked that, why? He said that he said I killed Ahmed Swale. Then the judge concludes that anybody who is looking at that JB Dankwa murder knows that some people are on trial. So Anas is not one of those on trial. So no one is going to take that matter serious. Because in defamation, you have to demonstrate that the thing the person has said, somebody will take it serious and it will reduce your image in his eyes. So the judge is saying that that doesn't go anywhere because everybody knows who is being tried for JB Dankwa's murder. Anas is not one of them. So if Anas is suing that Kenneth Agyapong says he killed JB Dankwa, it's not something that can hold in defamation because you are not part. So it's like somebody saying that Paul Adom-Otchere is the most stupid chairman of Asante Kotoko. Then I go and sue. Then they ask you, are you chairman of Asante Kotoko? I said, no. Have you been chairman of Asante Kotoko before? No. So why are you saying this? He said, but I'm Paul Adom-Otchere. He said, but everybody knows you're not chairman of Asante Kotoko. So this won't go anywhere. So that suit will be dismissed. That's what he's saying. That's what the judge is saying. That about the murder of JB Dankwa. People are being tried. So, and Anas is not one of them. So if somebody says that Anas killed JB Dankwa, nobody will take him serious because there's a prosecution going on. So that's what the judge said. Let's get back to Anas' statement and finish it up. And then we go to our big political interview. All right. Number 3, he says that we find a decision of the court. Is that it? We find a decision of the court. Okay, yeah, this is the next one. Thus, the documentary cannot provide any justification for an allegation of murder in the wildest imagination. Yet the judge conveniently ignored this obvious fact and the fact that Mr. Anas is not a suspect for the murder and is not under investigation. I don't know who wrote this because the judge didn't ignore it. It's inside the document. I can sympathize with them, you see, because I read the document and they had to point me back to things I thought I had read already, but I didn't see it. So please, Anas lawyers, is it there? Don't have my problem. Me, I'm getting old. So don't have some of my problem. It's there. It's in the document. That's what I put there. The judge talked about it. He talked about the murder. He talked about it. It's there. He didn't ignore it. He dealt with it. He addressed this. When you go on the court of appeal, you can let the court of appeal look at it. But you can't say the judge didn't mention it because he did. Okay. Then they go on to say that this case traveled through the hands of 3 judges, with Justice Bam being the latest assigned to the case at the express instance of Kenneth Agyapong. I'm not sure about this. I don't know how judges are appointed. They are appointed by the Chief Justice through the Judicial Secretary. How one party in a matter can insist on, and Anas lawyers didn't file any application against it. I don't even believe this. How are they telling us that the judge was appointed at the instance of Kenneth Agyapong? But what is this? If the judge was appointed at the instance of Kenneth Agyapong, that's wrong. And you have lawyers, they can file an application. They can ask the judge to recuse himself. This is very simple. I don't believe this one. They will have to come and say more about that. How the judge was appointed because Kenneth Agyapong said, I want this judge. It will not happen. I'm not sure that happened. Okay. Throughout the trial, he says, Mr. Agyapong displayed absolute disdain and disrespect of the court and the lawyers of Anas, but all attempts to cite him for contempt hit a dead end. This is Anas and his lawyers are throwing a pity party in their paragraph 4. This is a pity party they are throwing. They are asking for pity. I don't even get it. The case travels to the court with 3 judges. That happens often. Then you say it was Kenneth Agyapong who appointed it. That doesn't happen. The Chief Justice can write to them and deal with them on that. Because that is bringing the office of the Chief Justice and the Judicial Secretary into disrepute. The Lord Chief Justice and the Judicial Secretary, this paragraph is bringing their work into disrepute because Anas is saying that the judge was appointed by Kenneth Agyapong, which doesn't happen. And then they go on to say that during the trial, Kenneth Agyapong displayed absolute disdain and disrespect for the court, and all attempts to cite him went dead. That's neither here nor there. If you cite a client or a plaintiff or defendant for contempt at the High Court, and the High Court ignores the application, they know the procedure. You can repeat that application at the Court of Appeal. You can repeat it at the Supreme Court. So, really, this is a pity party. All right. 5. We note that Mr. Japan attended court in the company of Kwesi Nyantakyi, who had been banned for 15 years from all football-related activity. What should we do with that? What is that? What's this? That he attended court. Is the courtroom a football field? Yes, Kwesi Nyantakyi has been banned from football activity for 15 years. Even if he has been banned for 5,000 years, is the court a football field? Or maybe people were watching football on their phone in the court and that sort of connects. The court's not a football field. Anybody who says this is throwing a pity party. Kwesi Nyantakyi has indicated forever that he's principally interested in this matter. He attended court regularly as an officer of the court, and he said he's interested in this matter. He probably even gave Kele Japan legal advice. He probably worked with Kele Japan's lawyers. He's entitled to do that. He's completely entitled to do that. So if you come and report to us after the trial in disagreeing with the ruling that Kwesi Nyantakyi was coming to court, whereas he had been banned from watching football, really? Kwesi Nyantakyi was coming to the court, but you all know that he has been banned from watching football. What should we do? What is wrong with Kwesi Nyantakyi going to the court? Why are they concerned about Kwesi Nyantakyi going to the court? This is not good. It's throwing a pity party. Tiger IPI and our CEO, Anas Arimia Anas, remain resolute in the fight against corruption in the Ghanaian society in service to God and country. Thank you very much. But this is the High Court ruling. We are done. Okay.